pivoting method, you can make fine adjustments in pedal pressure, eliminating some of your jerkiness.
It feels like a pretty smooth transition.
Exactly. Okay, now cover the brake and go ahead and put the car in drive. We're going to work on your acceleration. The key here is light acceleration. Now do the pivot and move your foot from the brake to the accelerator, pressing it lightly to gradually increase your speed. Now, do you see how that works? It minimizes the shift in weight, keeping the vehicle more balanced than it would be if you quickly push the pedal to the floor.
Okay, so what about braking? I still can't get the hang of that.
Well, it works just like acceleration, but you have to make sure that you use a controlled, steady approach. Now let's come to a slow stop. Push the brake slowly and steadily. Oh, that was a lot better than before. Granted, deliberate hard braking is necessary at times, but you got to remember that the harder you push the brake, the more difficult it is for you to steer your vehicle, and the more likely you're going to lose traction between your front and rear tires. Now, let's go ahead and try that turn up ahead on the right. The key here is to complete your braking before the turn. Because braking shifts the balance of your vehicle, it is much safer to brake while your wheels are still straight. As you begin turning the wheels, you should no longer be braking. You'll have much more traction during the turn, and you can smoothly accelerate through the turn. As we continue to work on all of the things that we've practiced already, you need to also identify targets in your path of travel.
Targets? Path of travel? This is just new vocabulary for one of the most important concepts in driving: scanning. A target is a fixed object that appears 20 to 30 seconds ahead in your path of travel. Safe driving requires that you continuously search to the left and right of this target. This is called your target area. Take a look at an example. If you were the driver of this vehicle, you could decide to use an exit sign ahead as your target, since it's in your intended path of travel. With the exit sign as your target, you would visually search the areas to the left and right of the sign. Again, this is your target area. When doing this, you're trying to identify any changes that might affect your path of travel, such as other vehicles entering or leaving your lane. The key is to constantly pick a new target 20 to 30 seconds ahead of you. Essentially, every second you drive, you're picking out a new target about the same distance away. Searching the target area ahead of you allows you to make safer decisions while approaching your target. If you witness potential hazards such as construction zones or pulled over vehicles, you'll be able to slow down and take proper precaution in plenty of time. Basically, you can't stare at the road ahead. You should constantly be shifting your focus and scanning the area between your car and where you're headed. With practice, this will become second nature. Before you leave your parking lot practice course, you should also be aware of the 5 lane positions you may use when driving. Learning each lane position is necessary in order to understand explanations of other driving maneuvers later in the program. Lane position 1 will be used the most often. Your vehicle is in the center of the lane, about 3 feet from the left and right lines. Lane position 2 is used when there is something blocking your path of travel in the right side of your lane. Your vehicle is 0 to 6 inches away from the left line. Lane position 3 is used when there is something blocking your path of travel on the left side of your lane. Your vehicle is 0 to 6 inches away from the right line. Lane position 4 is used when passing or changing lanes to the left. Your vehicle will temporarily straddle the left lane line. Lane position 5 is used when passing or changing lanes to the right. Your vehicle will temporarily straddle the right lane line. Remember, lane position 1 is the most common and typically the safest position under normal circumstances.
Good. You remember to set the parking brake. Now, I know we're in an empty parking lot, but when you're on the street or in a busy parking lot, you have to make sure that you check for traffic before getting out of the car.
I know, Dad.
Well, it could have been a lot worse. I should have given Adam better instructions on braking and accelerating before I even let him put the car in drive. But He learned from his mistakes.
I didn't think I'd be so nervous. Everyone makes it look so easy.
I think he now knows that driving isn't as simple as he expected it to be. And I think we'll keep on practicing in the parking lot for a few days before we actually hit the road.
I'd love to actually drive somewhere, but I'd understand if we practiced a bit more. I'd much rather screw up in an empty parking lot than on the street.
Sure, I was nervous, but you can't let your kid know that. It will just make them more nervous.
Dad was all right. His tips obviously helped me, and he wasn't that annoying.
It looks like my dad and Adam had a good lesson. Remember, it's a great idea to practice in an empty parking lot until both the parent and the student are completely comfortable with entering the roadway. There's no reason to hurry into something you're not prepared for. Just take your time and enjoy the experience.